So, if you haven't noticed, I've started trying to do YouTube videos again. I did one about Nanowrimo, which is, I'm not expecting lots of views, but my Nanowrimo is doing fairly well for myself. I have about, I think, 2,000 words written, and that's not a lot compared to some people. And I know the official rules, you're supposed to have like 50,000 words or something like that at the end. I don't play by the rules. I don't register on the Nano website. I never have because frankly, I don't want someone, telling me how to write. And I think officially you're supposed to write like 1,300 words a day. And that's just not going to happen for me. So my personal goal and is to write 10 to 12,000 words, which is a goal I know I can hit, and 8 to 10 short stories, which that goal kind of went out the window a little bit. So I did publish one short story for The Walking Dead, and now I'm working on what decided to be a multi-chapter story for Jurassic World. Um, um, so I got 2 chapters on that, and I think it's gonna be 3, maybe 4 chapters. But it's got a lot of really good feedback. I only have a few hundred views on it, but there's comments, there's subscriptions, there's kudos. There's a bookmark. I'm like, whoa, maybe I should have been writing for Jurassic World all along. This is akin to when I started writing for Harry Potter, and boom, I like blew up, and I was like, wow, I guess people actually like what I write. And or when I wrote my Hawkeye story, and I was getting those magical emails with like blocks of kudos, and that never happens to me. It made me really happy. I've been writing fan fiction for years, and I had never gotten one of them, but that makes me happy. So that story is doing fairly well. I need to finish it. I haven't actually done any writing for a day or two, but I'm not beating myself up about it because this is for fun and it's not a contest. And if I do hit my goals, I'm going to buy myself a Nano Winner t-shirt, and that's it. I have a couple others, and yeah, it's about having fun and hitting your own personal goals, whatever they may be. And there is no right answer or wrong answer. Unless you're registering your work with the official NaNoWriMo website, and then you actually are supposed to hit those so many words. But even then, I don't think there's like a punishment or any whatever. It's about having fun and finding community. Though I've never actually found community through NaNoWriMo, but other people have. In fact, I have a friend who found her husband in the NaNoWriMo community. So but that's not me. I don't really actually know anyone else other than that said friend doing NaNoWriMo. So, but then also, this is exciting. Nano's exciting, but this is more exciting in my opinion. See, we've decided to go on a spur of the moment 2-day trip to Disney Springs and Wizarding World. I have always wanted to go see the Wizarding World at Christmas, or at least for the past 3 years that I've been a Universal Pass holder. And it's just never worked out because money and adulting and, job. But we decided to go to Disney Springs, and I was like, we also have these Universal passes, so why don't we also go spend a day at Universal? So we're going to. And if you are not aware, I've gone back to Ravelry, which is a little side note here, but I've gone back to Ravelry just to play in the Harry Potter Knit Crochet House Cup. That is literally the only reason why I went back, because I really just needed that community. So I've decided to knit an owl, which is it's a thing. It's a 3-month project, okay? So mine was a Weasley sweater. And while I'm supposed to be done by November 30th, I have failed miserably so far. But now I really must be done by November 30th because I'll be in the Wizarding World on the 1st, and I need to finish my sweater because my project is a Weasley sweater, and I really want to finish it so I can wear it. And I plan on embroidering a R on it because I want it for cosplay purposes, and I have ideas for it. Like wearing it to Uncelebration in January. I was going to cosplay as Rose Weasley because we're having a Weasley day. And apparently Hermione doesn't count as a Weasley because she only marries into the family. And I'm like, but I have a whole Hermione cosplay. That's not fair. But anyway, so I was going to do an R. But I really need to finish that. We'll see. It might be finished in time. I'm going to go turn on Spider-Man and knit for 2 hours. However, being in the Harry Potter house knit crochet cup thing, I don't know. I always get the acronym wrong. I also had to finish one project a month to stay in sorting priority. So, in going through all of my older projects on Ravelry, I found that I have made quite a few little monsters. And I realized I really would like to start making more monsters again because they were a lot of fun. Only I no longer have my monster book because when I moved to Florida, my brother took all my knitting books out of the suitcase and never put them back. And I know you're thinking, well, it's been 7 years. I'm like, yeah, I know. But anyway, some of them I've replaced over the years. Some of them I haven't. But anyway, this one I did replace, the Knitting Monster book, which I think is actually out of print. Rebecca Danger does not seem to be designing anymore, and I really don't know why. Even her design's been taken down. You can't buy them anymore. And I don't really get that, but I don't know what's going on there, but I am really excited to have this book again. I've already completed one little monster. I'm about to start another one. I know in this book, majority of them are made like with worsted weight or bulky weight, and I usually actually use fingering weight. I think it makes super cute monsters. I think the one I'm about to start is, which one is it? The dot monster. See the little picture there of the dot monster. I'm going to make that one out of a blue and black barber pulled striped worsted. I think it's going to be really cute. I was thinking about maybe using them as my Christmas gift this year. Every year I give out things at work. Last year I made a whole bunch of snowmen. Usually I do dishcloths, but I don't know. I'm just kind of... Dishcloths means I have to buy yarn. And while I love buying yarn, frankly, I don't love buying cotton yarn, which is what you need for dishcloths, because I don't use it for anything else. So I much prefer buying things like fingering weight, which has so many uses. And I prefer buying worsted weight, which again has so many uses. And I prefer either natural fibers, which I would not necessarily use for monsters, especially for other people, because they are toys and toys should be played with. And natural fibers often need, to be taken care of. You can't just necessarily throw them into the washer and dryer. But I do use a lot of acrylic for these, which means I can go to big box stores and just buy whatever's on sale. And I love that. And I actually am using acrylic for my Weasley sweater. And I'm actually getting ready to order another skein in the Nick Picks big sale. Just to be safe, because I'm a little worried about running out of yarn. But it's a nice yarn. It's called Brava. It's not the greatest of yarns, but it's cheap and it'll look nice. And I think that I don't like it when people use, super expensive yarn for a Weasley sweater, because that doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, don't use the cheapest of the cheap, but don't use super great yarn either, because a Weasley sweater should not be made of expensive yarn, because they are not rich people. So, in my opinion, you should use something kind of cheapish for a Weasley sweater. But I know a lot of people don't care. But that's just me. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to and what I'm going to be doing. And if anyone has any tips about Disney Springs, we're only going to be there for one day. So I have to be able to do it in a day. And we're going to be in Universal for half a day. We're going to hopefully get into town around lunch and then hit up Universal for the rest of the day. And then the last day, I will probably go into the park with early admittance, because we do have to drive back that third day. And it's a 3-hour drive. And so we can't actually stay all day. But I will probably go back just because I can. And what is the point of, dropping an entire paycheck once a year on my pass holder, on my pass, if I cannot go to the park all the time? My dream is to go work in Universal. I think it'd be so fun. I have a couple of friends trying to get me to go do that, but the jobs they had available, at least last I looked, were only for part-time, and I cannot afford to move to Orlando on part-time. So maybe someday they'll have a full-time availability that I can maybe actually seriously look into. That'd be so much fun. You know, you get into the park free if you work there. Yeah, you do. That'd be so fun. But at the same time, I think maybe it wouldn't be, because then, you know, the magic of it, you would know how everything works, and maybe that's not so much fun. And yet, people really seem to enjoy working at theme parks. However, I would like to find a nice full time job with decent hours and, like, not having to work all the holidays, which theme parks are open for every holiday. And maybe, you know, so I could do stuff. But, you know, that's apparently a dream, because nobody does that anymore. You don't get to work holidays and no nights and no weekends, because that's just not possible. And that's kind of sad. But whatever. And I do have a decent job. I just kind of would like to make more money. So we'll see. Anyway, so you got tips about Disney Springs, Universal. Have you knit a Weasley sweater? Any tips in getting a sweater done in 3 weeks while working full time? Yeah. And you know I say I have no knitting time, but it's really kind of a lie. I just get home from work at 10:30 at night, and then I'm up till 2 or 3 in the morning, so I could actually knit. I just don't. Like last time I was up till like 3 in the morning. I was talking to my friend in Alaska. I mean, you know, and yes, I have 2 friends in Alaska. Yeah, I do. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. The Sunday ramblings. Have a good day.